So in this video, I will implement the player chopping. So when I press the K keyword, and then the player trigger the animation. And also I will implement the collision detection. So when the X hitbox collide with the uh, trunk hitbox, it will trigger the animation. And also I will add the lift animation. Press again, and then press again. You can see I will also add the tree falling animation. Okay, so today I will implement the tree animation and then the tree fall animation. So I've already import the asset that you can find in the premium pack. So let's get started. I'm gonna play first. So here's I'm gonna take on this tree. So let's go stop, and then I'm gonna cut first in the rectangle merge tool, and then I'm gonna select for like this, and then crop. So let's get play again the animation. So I think that looks cool. I'm gonna remove this first, so it's like a fruit. Where is it? Layer 8. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna export as export sprite sheet, and then I'm gonna move to the border and then use the spacing. So and the output is here, so I'm gonna choose the path, going to desktop, and then go to the directory. So you can asset and then resources. I think I'm gonna create a folder in here. It's called environment. So I'm gonna create a folder again. It's called tree, and then I'm gonna save this tree. So hit export, and then we will see in Android Studio, and then go to the asset and then environment and then the tree. So and then I'm gonna add the asset path. So let's get add the environment, and then I'm gonna add trees. So let's get alright, and then I'm gonna create the directories called environment. I'm gonna add as, and then and then I'm gonna create folder again. It's called tree, and then I'm gonna create a Dart file. It's called tree sprite. So I'm gonna create class extend sprite component animation component. So I'm gonna add this has game reference. I'm gonna pass the value for Sprout Valley. Yep. And then I'm gonna create two variable animation spread animation, and then I'm gonna create the idle tree animation tree. Oops, I'm gonna add late, so I'm gonna implement the method unload. I'm gonna create load asset. I'm gonna create again is load tree. I'm gonna add the assets tree. So we can just copy in here for the method create spread animation, and again paste here. So for the source size, I'm gonna create variable vector2. This is the default for the size, so I'm gonna move to the spread again, and then I'm gonna hit C. You can see this width and height, so let's fill the value is 64 and then 48. Yep. And then here I'm just gonna copy this, so for the tree I'm gonna copy here, and then I'm gonna remove this. Yep. And then for the idle tree, so let's get copy this too for the animation, and then yep, the length, so you can see here's 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3, this is 3, and then this is 3, and then this 3, and then this 3. I think it's 13, so I'm gonna add 13, and then oops, for the idle I'm gonna, for the length is 1, and then I think there is parameter for the loop. I'm gonna change to false. Yep, this is loop. I'm gonna add the optional parameter first. Pull is true. So let's get like here, and then loop is false. Yep, I think that's enough. So let's get to assign animation for idle tree. So I'm just gonna read first. Oh, I'm sorry, and I think we need to implement the vector position and vector size. So tree sprite, and then I'm gonna copy, I'm gonna call the super position, and this is position. I think the vector size is does not required for now. I'm gonna remove that. So this is for scale and then priority. So I'm gonna just copy, and then for render priority, so I'm gonna add for the I think I'm gonna use for the ground. So let's change for the ground, and then we need to add the scale. I think this is enough. So this is 3 and then 13. So oops, I think the length is 12. So this is because this start begin to for 0. So I'm gonna try to -1, and then I'm gonna add this 3 into the word. So let's go to the word. I think I'm gonna rename this for I'm not gonna rename, and then I'm gonna create directory is called farm. I'm just gonna move, and then for the house I'm just gonna move for the inside the directory of words. So I think this is perfect. I think I'm gonna remove this and then re-import again. Alright, and then for the first time for render, I'm gonna create, oh no, I think I'm gonna add for the function inside load characters. So I'm gonna create the method for load environment. So I'm gonna create three sprite, and then the position, I think I'm gonna copy this and then add for 900 to 900. So three. So let's get debug. Oops, I think there is an error. So image asset environment 3.png doesn't exist on cache. So I think this is wrong, but I think this is because in pubspec.yaml I forgot to add this s, so let's get to rename, then the factor, and then here's already add s. So in tree sprite I'm gonna add s. Oh, it's already exists, so I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna pop it again. Okay, let's get debug. Yep, nothing. Yeah, I think this is enough for the showing tree sprite. So I'm just gonna add for the collision and then the render priority. So let's stop again. Oh, maybe it's not necessary. So I think for the scale is too small, so I'm gonna add this for like 0.5, and then this is plus 0.5, and then let's get restart. So yep, I think it's better. Let's go implement the hitbox for the tree. So I'm gonna create a hitbox here, and then a hitbox here. So there is two hitbox in one tree. So let's get create the hitbox. I'm gonna use rectangle hitbox. So this is for the what is called the bottom hitbox, and then the I think this is called for trunk hitbox, and then this for the tree hitbox or the leaf. Sorry, the leaf I'm gonna use for the circle hitbox. So let's get create load method on load method. Let load hitbox. So let's get implement. For the trunk hitbox, I'm gonna create for the bottom. So for the size, I think it's like for 10 to 20. I think I'm gonna put here first, and then the position. So let's get for the random position. I'm gonna add this is 30 to 30. So oops, I'm gonna wait at trunk hitbox. So let's get restart. Yep, for the hitbox, I think this is too long. I'm gonna change for this. I think this is 8 to 8 to 12, and then the position. Oh, I think this is 8 to. I think I'm gonna add 6. Yep. For the position, I'm gonna add for 40 to 40 is to offset, and then I'm gonna change this. Yep, I think this is better. So I'm gonna add the gap. So this is must be the width. So I'm gonna add 8. Oops. Reverse. Yep, I think this is 10. Yep, I think this is perfect. So let's implement the collision callback. So I'm gonna change this for solid. It's true, and then I'm gonna implement. I don't think so to implement right now collision callback. I'm gonna change the code for the collision block. So this is collision walls, and I think I'm gonna use for the collision walls, not the rectangle hitbox. So I'm gonna change this and then change this. I'm gonna restart. Yep, I think this is perfect. Okay, let's go implement the circle for the leaves. So what is called leaf hitbox, and then I'm gonna add this circle hitbox. So for the size, I think there is no size, right? I think I'm gonna use the radius. So for the radius, I'm gonna change for the 16, and then for the position is vector 2. This is, I think this is 0, and then for the solid true, for the collision type is passive. So let's get restart again. Oops, I'm gonna add all. This is array, and then I'm gonna add this too. think this is too big, so I'm gonna change to 14, and then the position, I think this is minus 10, and then I'm gonna add for 15. Yep, I think this is too much bigger, so I'm gonna change to 10, and then for the Y position, I'm gonna change to 12. Nope. Yeah, this is right, and then I'm gonna change to 13. Yeah, I think this better. So we're gonna implement if the player move behind the tree, so it should change the render priority. So let's get implement. Let's go move to the farm world. So here for the create the variable tree sprite, I think I'm gonna create this array of tree sprite, list tree sprite. So I'm gonna add I think at all. Nope. I think I'm just gonna add this, and then also because I'm gonna change for the update method, so it's better to create this tree as a global. So for the update method, oh, this auto completion is not show. I'm just generate and then find update. So here, yep, I'm gonna create method. It's called render calculate tree render. So I'm gonna move here. Right now I'm gonna implement for the basic switch for the render priority. So later, I think we can refactor for the best performance. So for now it's just the basic. I'm gonna use 4. This is 3 and trees. Right now I'm gonna calculate the distance between the tree and the player, this and this player. So whatever the y or z index is, what is called the movement for behind the tree. So I'm gonna change the priority for the tree to the maximum, right? I'm gonna create the variable is called should be behind whatever is the tree dot position dot y less than player position dot y, and then I'm gonna create the variable is called exact priority or expect expect priority. If should behind is true, I'm gonna change the expect priority to the farmland. I think this is grown. Else I'm gonna change render priority to the maximum. Oops, there's no maximum, so I'm gonna create first static counts. I'm gonna create the 10,000. So for the maximum, yep, because the player if the player position is less than the 3, so I'm gonna change for the 3 to maximum. This if 3 priority not equal expect priority, and then I'm gonna change 3 priority to expect priority. Yep, let's go restart, and then we can see I think this is goes wrong for the calculate render. So oops, let's go debug first. I see, because the render priority in here for the what is called the anchor. So let's go move to, I think it's not, wait, I'm thinking, let's get add for the minus 64. So let's get to restart. Yep, I think much better. So let's get add more 3, and then 3 1 3 2. I think I'm gonna change this one, and then this 3 2. For the position of y, I'm gonna, oops, this is add all. and then here is 64. Nope, this is 64. I'm not at, sorry. This is too this is too close, so I'm gonna add gap and then add again. I think this is 1100, so I'm gonna reload again, restart again. Yep, I think much better. So I'm gonna change to 50. Yep, I think that's enough. That's really cool. So for the tree sprite, I'm gonna remove the debug mode. I'm gonna set to false. Oops, I think this is wrong. Debug mode here. Sorry, I think this is debug mode for false. Yep, I think much better. And then let's go implement for the player animation. Let's go move to the sprite. So here I'm just gonna import for the character sprite. So I'm gonna find for the animation for the chopping here. So I think this is for the animation. So there is a for animation on the bottom and the top and the left and the right. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna crop again. Yep, I think that's really good. I'm gonna export, then spacing is 1. I'm gonna change for the directory. So this is for the player. I'm gonna add folder is called chopping. Player chopping button. I think it's bottom. Yep. I'm gonna export, and then here I'm gonna export again for the direction top. So I'm gonna crop, and then I'm gonna export here. I'm gonna rename, and then this is for the top. I think this is direction I'm gonna use for the bottom up. I think this is down, so I'm gonna change for this up and then export. I'm gonna change first. This is for the chopping. Down and then back to the sprite. So I'm gonna move to here. Oops. And then I'm gonna crop. So I'm gonna export. It's chopping left. And then I'm gonna, oops, I'm gonna change the or flip horizontal. So gonna export and then gonna rename for the right. Yep, I think that's enough. We have for the animation. Let's go create a variable in the player sprite. So I'm gonna create this sprite animation chop down animation. I'm gonna copy. This is for up and this is for left and then this is for right. In the pub spec I'm gonna add for this chopping and then I'm gonna stop first. So I'm gonna copy this. This is for chop. I'm gonna change this for chop. Chopping player chop player chopping down left right and up. I think this is enough. And then for the length is the same, is 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Yep. I think we will gonna implement for the player chopping. So let's create the variable is called this is chopping for flag is false and then this is the duration chop duration I'm gonna set for the 5 and then this is for chop timer. I'm gonna set to 0. We will implement for the key up, so let this copy, and then I'm gonna use for the key 1, key 0, key 1. Why there is no key 1? Numpad is digit 1. I think I'm gonna change for the key K, so I'm gonna use key K for the key down. I'm gonna use key K, and then this is I'm gonna change for the handle chop. This is handle chop 2. Let's go implement for the method. I'm gonna create here, and then I'm gonna use async. I'm gonna change for the parameter, so I'm gonna use, this is for the key up. I'm gonna change to false, and then I'm gonna add the parameter is string k. I'm gonna change this for key down, and then I'm gonna change for true, and then this is for k. So I'm gonna change for the name parameter, so it's called handle action button. I'm gonna change this, and then for the parameter 1 is down, and then this is string key. So I'm gonna add for the switch case, this is key case if it is key. So I'm gonna create the method for the handle action. I'm gonna call for the handle action here. So let's get add brick. So I think I'm gonna add this for bool. So I'm gonna return true. I think this is changed to a handle action or handle action chopping. So I'm gonna rename this, and then this is for is down, then I'm gonna add parameter is down too. This is will handle for the timer. So if is down and state player state is I think I'm gonna add this for chopping. So it's chopping, and then I'm gonna change the state for sorry, I think this is not chopping. If this is state is not chopping, then player state is chopping, and then the chopping timer, let's go assign for the chop duration. Yeah, it's indicator for chopper timer to begin. So let's get fine for the duration. I think for the chop duration is not 5. This is too long, so I'm gonna change for 0.7. I think this is for double, and it is also double. Yep. And if is done, the chopping is true, and then else I think this is bad, so I'm gonna change for the chopping equals is down. So I think this is enough for trigger the chop timer. So let's get implement for the update method. So here handle chopping timer. So I'm gonna create this. This is double dt delta time. So if state is called player state chopping, so I'm gonna reduce the chopping timer. Chopping timer minus equals dt, and then if chopping timer equals 0 and chop timer chopping is equals is not chopping, so I'm gonna change for the state to player state idle. Yep. I think this is error because and then oops, I think this is perfect, so I'm gonna add for parameter dt. This is will trigger the chop timer. This is more important because when animation had a time that I defined for 0.7, and then when the player press the button K, this will trigger the handle chop timer, and then we'll reduce to the minus dt, and then if chopper timer equals 0, I think this is better for less than 0, less than or equal 0, and then it's not chopping. Let's get change state player to idle. So let's get implement for the animation. I'm gonna implement for this. I'm gonna create a method handle chopping animation. So let's get create method if the direction equals player direction is going to down, we will get change for the animation. This is for animation. Chop down animation, and then the direction, let's get not to change for the direction variable. So let's get to implement. I think I'm gonna use switch case. So direction case player direction is going to down, and then I'm gonna change the animation, chop down animation, and then I'm gonna break for the case player direction is going up, animation, chop up animation, and then go break case going to left, this is for right, break, so chop right animation. This is error, oh, because it's not semicolon. And then I'm gonna default at default to bricks. It's meant to nothing. I'm gonna check if state is not equal player state chopping. I'm gonna return this. So let's get to debug again. Let's press button K. So what is I'm pressing K. I think this is goes wrong, so I'm gonna check for the code. I think for the animation, when I press the animation is already assigned for the chopping, but after leaving the function, this is will actually execute it. So I'm gonna change method 2 is called reason player has to stop. Stop. I'm gonna create this if chop timer is equal 0, and then return true. So this is will add bool. I'm gonna return false. I'm gonna add if, and then return. This is not well executed is if the recent player has to stop return true. So let's get restart. I'm gonna press key. Yep, I think this is good. This is perfect, I think. Yeah. The next is we need to implement for the hitbox on the edge for animation frame in here. So we need to add hitbox and then remove when the animation is disappear. So I think I'm gonna move for the chip duration is going to 11. I mean 8. Yep. Yeah, I think this is perfect, but this is not too smooth animation, so I'm gonna change for 6. Let's get C. F6. Yep, this animation is so perfect if use the timer for 6. So let's go implement for the hitbox. I'm gonna create this hitbox chop. I'm gonna use late rectangle hitbox chop down, hitbox chop up, and then hitbox chop right, hitbox chop left. Okay, it is perfect. So let's go ahead to implement on the load hitbox. So I think I'm gonna create method. This is hitbox chopping. So let's get to create implement this method. I'm gonna use async, and then I'm gonna create the chop hitbox chop down rectangle. This is position. I think this is, I'm gonna copy this to for first, and then this is size. I'm gonna just copy. Yep, I think this is good, and then I'm gonna implement all of the hitbox chop. This is up, this is left, and then this is right. So I'm not gonna add this all hitbox because when you add, so this is will come in player perspective, and then I'm gonna add whenever the hitbox is run, or is the animation hitbox for chopping is already start. This this okay. So I'm gonna implement for the chopping animation, and then oh no, I think I'm gonna add for the action button and then action chopping. I'm gonna add in this handle chopping timer. So handle chopping hitbox. I'm gonna add for dt. Oops, I mean the passing parameter dt. So here I'm gonna check the animation for if animation not null and animation wait, I forgot. I think this is for animation ticker. Yep, animation ticker is not null. I'm gonna check the animation. I think it's animation ticker on frame. So frame index. Oh, this is not null. If frame index equals, this is have eight frame, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I'm gonna use for the frame 6. So I'm gonna, if frame index equal 5, whenever you use the 6 frame, you use for the -1, which is 5. So I'm gonna add for the hitbox chop down. Oh, I think I'm gonna check first for the direction. I'm gonna use switch case. This is direction. Guess player direction is going to down, and then the add hitbox chop down, break, and then guess player direction up, and then add hitbox chop up. I'm gonna break, and then guess player direction going to right, and then add hitbox right, gonna break, and then guess player direction going to left, and then add hitbox left, and then brick. I'm gonna use default brick. So whenever frame is equal to 5, so this is will add the hitbox job, but else if frame index equals 6, I'm gonna remove all the hitbox, remove all chop hitbox. So I'm gonna implement on this. If hitbox down is mounted, so I'm gonna remove the hitbox down. I'm gonna just copy, oops, is up, and then this is up, left, and then this is left, right, and then this is right. So I think this is finished. So let's get to change for the debug mode to true, and then for the hitbox I'm gonna change the color transparent, and then for the chopping hitbox I'm gonna not gonna change. So let's go to restart. You can see the hitbox will show wherever the frame equals 5, and then after frame 6 it will remove. Yep, I think this is good. So the trick is when the remove all hitbox on frame 6, it just I'm gonna use the game for pause engine. So we need to resize and reposition for each hitbox. So I'm gonna change for the position, and then the size, I think the size is going to 5, and then the position is going to left 15, and then I'm gonna change to 25. I think this is too much. Just going down, and then this is 40, and then this is 220. So let's get run again. I think this is for the X, this is much better. So I'm gonna remove the Y position. This is too much. I think I'm gonna change to 30. Yeah, I think this is close. So I'm gonna change to 33. I'm gonna change to 32. Yep, I think this is better. I'm gonna remove for the base transparent and then debug. Wait, this is chop for the hitbox. It should do transparent. I think debug mode is going to false. Oh, I think for the intersection block, I'm gonna add this debug mode is going to false. Yep. I think for the right position, I'm gonna change first. So the right position, this size is 5, and then the position is going to right. Yep, I think this is enough. So I'm gonna change for the left. I'm gonna give a 10, so it's too much. Oops. Yep, I think that's enough. And then I'm gonna change to up, and then this is 5. I'm gonna add this 30, and then this is going to 10. Oh, I think this is 25. Yep, I think this is enough. So let's get remove the pose engine, then implement the remove all crop hitbox. So I think this is going to wrong. I'm gonna change for the 7. This is not going to remove, so I'm gonna check for yep, I think I'm gonna change. This is 6, and then this frame is 4. Let's get restart, and then so yep, this is will remove after frame 6. So I think for the right, I'm gonna move up. So the position Y is I'm gonna remove to change to 27, and it is 2. Yep, this is much better. Okay, let's go implement for the chopping animation. So we have two hitbox in here and then in here. So whenever the hitbox hit with the trunk, and then for the tree, I think we will we will decide to change the animation for the tree. I'm gonna use for the collision with the trunk. So let's get implement. Let's move to the tree sprite where it is here, and then I'm gonna implement this collision callbacks. So I'm gonna implement the on collision. There is no on collision, so I'm gonna generate this is I'm gonna find on collision here. So I'm gonna add the super on collision. I'm gonna check if the other is rectangle hitbox, but when you implement like this, so whenever the player is or have a rectangle hitbox, so this is will detect on collision. So I'm not going to use this method. So I'm gonna just implement for the on update method, I think. But there's two way. The first is we can use this is also good for rectangle. I'm sorry. For the on collision, but you need a class for the collision hitbox, because when you use the rectangle, this is also have the trouble later. So right now I'm gonna implement for the update method. I'm gonna generate on override. I'm gonna find the update. Oops, it's not update 3. Where is the update? Here the update. So gonna create method, check if player chop colliding with trunk. I'm gonna create here. So this is DT. I'm gonna create the player variable, player sprite. This is player. This is on. I think I'm gonna use for the onload method. Wait. I'm gonna check in here, root character. So check if player chop gliding with the trunk. I'm gonna use for the unmount. Mount is mounted on mount. Yep, super on mount. Game build context. I think it's not with context, it's the player. I think this is the farm. What I'm gonna check for the documentation. I'm gonna create method on this call when player is available. So I'm gonna implement this. I think I'm gonna change for the player sprite to no. So while this is not used late, while player is no, I'm gonna check. I think I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna delay first. Delay duration is called millisecond. Is I'm gonna add the 10. So, and this is await. I'm gonna change modifier, and then I'm gonna assign for the game find object by a key name. So this is called player, right? So it moved to here. So I'm gonna change this a key. I think this is key. It's called player. I think this is not key. Component key. Right, this is component key. It's called name. Yep, this is the right thing. And then if player ready, so I'm gonna check for the method gliding. If its player is if player not equals null, and then check player hitbox chop is mounted. So I'm gonna implement this. If player hitbox down is mounted, or player hitbox left is mounted, or player hitbox right is mounted, or player hitbox left is mounted. I'm gonna return true and then return false. So if the I'm gonna check for the trunk hitbox. If the trunk hitbox is colliding and trunk hitbox colliding, wait, I'm gonna check this colliding. I think I'm gonna create a method in here. I think this is pull is colliding with this is I think I'm gonna use dynamic first. Other return hitbox is colliding with oops I think this is hitbox to other colliding with hitbox. Right, this is a hitbox. Yep. Let's go move to this. I think I'm gonna use or and then sorry I'm gonna use and then I'm gonna use or for this colliding is colliding with. I think I'm not gonna use is, so it's colliding with street sprite and then player hitbox down, player hitbox down, and then I'm gonna check all of this. Oh, I think this is yep. Hitbox up, hitbox left, right, and hitbox left. So here's the review of this method. So this always check if player is not null. So and then check the player hitbox is mounted, and then check yes trunk is colliding and the trunk colliding with hitbox chop up, down, and right. So if it's true, I'm gonna change the animation to animation 3, or I'm gonna change for the shake 3. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna create method animate 3 shaking. So I'm gonna passing for the double DDT, and then animate, sorry, and then this double DT. This is will change for the animation to shake shake 3 animation, and if animation not no, and animation ticker is not no, animation ticker on complete. So what this is function, gonna change for the animation to idle. Yep, I think this is right way, so I'm gonna restart. This is not animation because its gliding is wrong, I think. So I'm gonna check this. Because this, why this is not working? Is it the player is ready or not? I'm gonna stop first and then restart again. I'm gonna debug here. This player is true, so I'm gonna check on this method. So I think this is going to wrong in here. So its player hitbox is mounted. So this is up. I'm gonna, oh, it's up, it's not register, so stupid. And then I'm gonna reload again. Yep, the animation is kind of weird, so this is not stop it. I think this is going to loop. I think this is loop to false, because I'm gonna, this tree is kind of weird. If a hitbox or animation is start and then loop over and over again. I think I'm gonna check for the tree animation. I think there is two shake on one animation, so I'm gonna check again. Yep. And this is why not create a hitbox. Right, I'm thinking because if it's the word, so I think I'm gonna change for this is true, and then I'm gonna restart again. I'm gonna check first, so wait. I've already solved the problem. This is because hitbox chop is already create an object of rectangle hitbox, so I'm not using this. Let's go refactor for the late, so I'm gonna remove, and then I'm gonna use the for the rectangle. No, so they have an error. This is because a hitbox need to check. I'm gonna move this declaration, all of the hitbox chopped down, and then I'm gonna move this too. So and I'm gonna remove this method in this two. So there's an error. I'm gonna check if it's equals not equals null, and then I will remove. Yeah, I think this is all right. And then I'm gonna check for the tree split animation. There is an error. So I'm gonna check if if it's null. So it's not null. I mean, I'm gonna add this and then this too. So it's gonna copy and then equal nulls. And this is also. Yep, I think this finished, and then I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check for the collide with function. So I think we need change the hitbox is nullable, and then if other is equals null, and then I'm gonna return false. Otherwise is return with collide. So yeah, let's get restart. Yep, I think it's work. For the live, and then I think there is a bug, so later I I can fix. I will fix. I think this is fine. Let's go move to the next part. Is I'm gonna remove for the debug color. So I think later we will uh, check for every class. This is I will implement the hit time. So whenever the player hit the trunk hitbox, so I will reduce the hit time to trigger the falling animation. So here's I'm gonna implement for the uh, fall tree sprite animation. So uh, this asset we will create again. Uh, there is no falling tree animation, so I'm gonna export on this sprite. So I'm gonna use export. So here I'm just gonna export this fall tree animation. So whenever the hit times less than 0, it mean will trigger the tree animation. So I'm just gonna remove the all component of the tree. So I'm gonna use remove from parent, and then I'm gonna return because I don't want to reanimation again. Oops, why is not show the animation? I think I'm gonna check first. So let's go restart again. I think I will check first. I think for the falling animation, it is work. Why is not working when the hit time less or equal 0? So I'm gonna think first. Oh, when the animation is set to file 3, I think I'm gonna check for the animation is complete. So I'm gonna create a method. Yeah, I'm gonna check if uh, animation ticker is incomplete. So yep, I think this is this is like, so let's go check again. I'm gonna restart. Yep. Okay, that's cool. So I'm gonna remove this too. Yeah, this animation is perfect. this is I'm gonna change for the animation sprite. I don't like the tree shaking is animation animated twice. So I'm gonna export for the frame 1 to 8 because I just need one shaking animation. So I'm gonna export. I'm gonna change the frame and selected frame. So yep. So I'm gonna change this. Let's go check. It should one animate shake animation. Yep. I think this is cool. So I'm gonna check this too. Yep, this is really cool. So the next I will implement the leaves falling whenever the tree is shaking. Yeah, this is the asset of leaves. Maybe it's so simple. So let's get create leaves sprite class. So here's I'm gonna load the asset and then I'm gonna create this wet animation object first. Okay, and then I'm gonna create the leaf sprite object in the in here. So because whenever the trigger hitbox, it will create the object of the leaves. So let's create a variable. So I'm gonna manage the position. This is error because the asset is not load, I think. So the path is actually right. So let's go reload again. So yep, this leaf sprite or leaf component is ready show whenever the trigger hitbox. So let's get to animate for the three leaves falling. So I'm gonna move to center.